Hey everyone, it's Taylor back again with another video. This time I will be doing a story time update today for I'm going to call this like my first official video because the first video I uploaded last week was more of just an introduction video. And today my baby girl Sandy will be joining us, I guess, on the video today. She just wants to snuggle with me today while I'm taping this. So you guys get to enjoy this beautiful mug all day. So for this video. So enjoy Sandy's face for as long as this video lasts. For today's story time, I am going to be talking about my high school reunion, which I just went to this past weekend. So for those of you who know me, know that high school and grade school and school in general, growing up was not the happiest time for me because I was still very much in the closet a lot about my true self, and you know, I was still living as a male in the closet, so it was not a very good time for me. I was depressed. I was doing a lot of things to try to relate to a bunch of different people and just try to find somewhere to fit in. But I grew up in a small town. For those of you who may not know, I grew up in a small town in Indiana, which is a very conservative state, and I don't want to get political because there's nothing wrong with being conservative, there's nothing wrong with being liberal, there's nothing wrong with, you know, certain political, I don't know if I want to say anything wrong because there are certain things I disagree with, but anyways, I'm going down a rabbit hole now. And where I grew up, it wasn't, I guess what I'm making the point is, it wasn't acceptable to be like me, to be LGBTQ, to have, you know, differences. I mean, I grew up in a town where the census, I think, is literally like 99.2% white / Caucasian. And the other 0.8%, I think, was like the Mexican family that owned the Mexican restaurant in town. I think we maybe had one or two African-American families in my neighborhood. Not just in my neighborhood, in my entire county. So there wasn't a whole lot of diversity in my town growing up. I didn't have a lot of different cultural experiences growing up. I grew up in a very white, very narrow, I guess might be the word to use. I don't want to talk, you know, I still have friends back in my hometown, so I don't want to talk ill of the town that, you know, some people live in, but I mean, I'm just giving my experiences of what my childhood was like growing up in that town, and it was kind of miserable for me. And I don't know if living in Columbus or a bigger city would have helped. I think it could have helped, but I don't think that's a guarantee that I would have come out as my true female self sooner. I like to think I did. I mean, there were a couple occasions where I came very close to, or even attempted to. I mean, there was an incident in 8th grade when I thought I was gay, maybe, you know, trying to, because where I grew up, I didn't have the resources to know I didn't even know what trans was until I started seeing a doctor growing up. And, you know, I don't want to get too much into, there are some things personal in my life that I'll talk about, and there are some things I just won't. And I don't want to go too much into, you know, doctors and, you know, going to, you know, child therapists to, you know, figure out what was going on in my head. I mean, I always kind of knew what was going on. It was just finally having that inner strength to be who I finally was. And anyway, I guess the rabbit hole I've gone down was, it wasn't enjoyable for me. I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't a happy kid. I mean, I've always generally been a happy person, I like to think. I always try to find happiness, even when I'm dealing with, you know, the deepest, darkest, you know, demons in my heart, and, you know, having to live in the wrong body for 21 years. You know, I'm still not 100% comfortable in my body. I'm comfortable with the way I'm living my life now, but I've still got a long way to go until I feel 100% comfortable in my body. And I think everybody has those insecurities. Obviously, they're amplified for trans people, but I mean, everybody has those insecurities about their body, but for trans people, it's more amplified. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to edit any of this. I'm just kind of giving you like my raw emotions off the top of my head. This isn't off of a script or anything. This isn't jotted down or anything. So I'm sorry if this kind of sounds, unfiltered or whatever, but I like to keep it authentic on this channel. So that's what I want to kind of give to you guys. So I'm just going to speak my mind. But I mean, there were happy moments in my childhood. I don't want to, say that and, take the blessings I did have in my life growing up for granted, because I had a lot of them. But it just wasn't the best time for me growing up. I was very unhappy with myself. I was very unhappy with my body and how I grew up and the opportunities I missed out on as a child, and not getting to do, the normal girl stuff growing up. I never got to take dance or, go to, prom, wearing, a pretty dress like I see everybody wearing every year. And I didn't get to do those things. I didn't get to, really be in those girl groups, friends growing up. And it's very hard for me. And that's something that I still struggle with to this day, is coming to peace with not having those experiences, not getting to go to homecoming or prom as I wanted to, not getting to do all those things growing up, not getting to bond with, other girls the way other girls bond with each other. And I tried so hard sometimes to try to find people to understand, but I mean, if I didn't even know what the word for, I always knew I felt like a girl inside, but it's really just like in the past 10 to 20 years that we've finally gotten, I'd say more in the past 5 to 10 years that we finally got some more acceptance and education and knowledge about trans and what all that means. And I know, hi. And so there were, I couldn't expect anyone else to understand, even though I wanted people to. I reached out to several people. Eventually, I got to one point in my life where I needed someone to talk to and someone to be there for me as someone my age, as a friend, and someone who understood me, who would accept me for who I was inside. And I tried so hard to find someone, because I was still so scared to come out publicly. And a lot of people at school knew, but it was still that personal insecurities and fear that I wasn't able to do it, back in grade school, to come out and live free, fearlessly of who I am. And I, messaged several people through social media trying to find someone in my school that would understand and who I was, and that, I just wanted to be like any other normal girl. And I messaged so many people, and a lot of people that I probably shouldn't, I should not have messaged, and I can admit that now, looking back on it. I did a lot of things growing up that I really wish I hadn't. And there's a lot of people that feel that way, but I do in particularly. It was just a really hard time for me. And I really wish I had some of that time back. And that's the reason why I wanted to go to my reunion this weekend and connect with people that I grew up with, now that I am who I'm truly meant to be, to try to save, some memories of me and my classmates, as me being me, this person that I am now, and the person that I've always been inside, and the person who I've always meant to be. And I really wanted to try to salvage some memories of me being me around my classmates that I grew up with. And I was really scared and nervous, I'm not gonna lie, going into this weekend, because I know the world has changed a lot. And I mean, so this was my 5-year reunion, by the way. I graduated high school 5 years ago, and this was our 5-year class reunion. So I know the world has changed a lot in those 5 years, but I didn't know how much the people in my class, and I mean, because there's still small town America, and there's still, I still get judgy looks from people when I go back to my hometown, and there's a lot more accepting people, and I have a lot of good people in my life now that care about me for who I am, though, which I thank God every day for those people in my life. But like I said, it's still small town America. There are still people who live in a box and have their views on life and aren't going to change. And I was really afraid of that affecting me at the reunion. And I cannot say that could not have been more from the opposite. And I was very happy at my reunion. I could not have asked for a better class reunion, and in terms of everybody being so welcoming and so accepting of me, and it really made me feel good. And I'm gonna try not to cry on camera today. That's why I've got Sandy here. It's my little emotional support dog for this video. And it was nice to make those memories this weekend, and talk to people who back in the day I never would have in a million years thought would be okay with me being who I am today. And they were people that were coming up to me and saying, how are you? And, how are you feeling? I bet, I'm glad you feel happy and you've made peace with yourself and everything. And I was just, oh my God, like it was all I could do not to cry at some of those moments, because it just felt so good. I wish that would have happened, 10 or 15 years ago, growing up, but, I'll take it now. But, and I get it. And kids can just be mean in general. And, that might have been a problem of it growing up, but, it was really nice getting to see all my close friends from high school that were kind of there for me through some of this, and were as supportive as could be through some of this. And it was really nice to see those people. I mean, everybody was kind of in their same cliques from high school at the reunion, and it was kind of funny to see everybody just kind of gravitate back to who they, hung out with, which is natural, and obviously that's what happened. But I thought everybody did a really good job of reaching out to other friend groups and reminiscing with other people who maybe they weren't exactly the best of friends with growing up. And I thought that was really nice. And, it was nice to talk to some of the other girls at my school and, feel like I was one of them for once. And, that really meant a lot to me. And I really, really had a great time. Everybody was having so much fun. There were drinks, there were snacks, people were playing games and doing karaoke and all this fun stuff. And it was just such a great time. And, and then I actually ended up going to stay over with some of my girlfriends at one of my girlfriend's house from high school, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, we stayed up till 3 in the morning just reminiscing about high school, talking about how much people have changed, who hasn't necessarily changed that much, who still looks the same, you know, all this stuff. And it was a really fun time, and it was nice to have that moment, because I missed out on a lot of that stuff, you know, growing up, obviously, and I never got to have, you know, the girls' slumber parties and, you know, hang out and make those kind of connections and have those kind of conversations with, you know, the other girls growing up. And I know I've said that a lot, but it means a lot to me. So I had a really fun time this weekend at my reunion. To everybody who's watching this that I saw at the reunion, thank you so much for your kindness. It meant the world to me. So thank you guys for making it a great reunion, a great one. And it was nice to salvage some memories of me, you know, with my classmates. So there's not a day that goes by that I wish I couldn't have had the strength and courage to be who I am today then, and to make that decision. I just wasn't that strong enough back then growing up. I still had a lot of maturing to do. And even like when I left my small town in Indiana and moved here to Columbus, it took me 3 years living in this city to finally get my insecurities under control and to finally have the strength and courage to live out my truth. So I'm just so grateful to everyone who was so kind to me, and to my close friends who, you know, gave me such an amazing night. And I thank God for this weekend, and it was just so much fun, and I couldn't have asked for a better reunion. So thank you for everyone who watched this story time, and I know I got a little bit personal on this one, and I hope you kind of got a glimpse into my life growing up. And that is the purpose of this channel, is I want to give you guys a look at an inside look of what it is like growing up as transgender and not being able to express that to people. And I'm very glad that I can now talk about it openly and not get all weepy and all those things. So it feels very nice to talk about it. It feels very therapeutic. So thank you all for watching this. And once again, thank you to everyone in my class who was so kind to me at the reunion. I'm looking forward to the 10-year reunion, and I'm hoping to keep up with some of my classmates, maybe meet up with them sooner, and I'm really looking forward to maintaining those relationships. So thank you all for watching this video. That was my story time about my high school reunion. So my next video that I'm going to film will probably be my breast augmentation post-op video. I'm 10 days post-op now. So I actually just had my follow-up appointment with my surgeon, my doctor, today, and I had my surgical tape removed and all that. So I will probably go ahead and film that video either, if not tomorrow, probably the next day. So that'll be coming here in the next couple of days as my post-op, my 10-day post-op or 2-week post-op, or it'll be something along those lines. It'll probably be like a 10-day post-op video. So that'll be coming next. And thank you guys for watching this video. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much.